what the freaking heck is this moment in your dating history? Last night, I finally went on a date with this guy who's been asking me out for the past couple of months. He took me to a weight loss seminar. So I've known this guy for almost a year now, not really good friends or anything, more of casual acquaintances. We've got a bunch of common friends and see each other from time to time, parties, etc. A couple of months ago, he started messaging me. First on Facebook, then by text. He got my number from a friend. He didn't ask me for it. And most of the time, I responded just to be polite. He's nice enough, but not really my type. So when he started dropping hints about meeting up, I just turned him down and said I'm busy or we just catch up the next time there's a gathering with our friends, that sort of thing. Fast forward to last week and he asked me out again, which, if I remember correctly, is the 6th time in the past 2 months. I finally decided to at least give him a chance. Because, hey, I could go wrong anyway. And who knows what I'm missing and all that jazz. Worst case scenario, it would be awkward, but we've talked more than a few times, so I was thinking it can't be that bad, and we could actually have a pleasant time. Day night comes and we meet up in the city after work. We had dinner. A nice, cutesy Japanese place. Conversation was okay. I was certain at this point that it's really not going to take off. He really isn't my type. But I was having a pleasant enough time and he was a total gentleman and not bad to talk to. The bill comes, and I was going to suggest a quick coffee before heading home. However, he said that there's something he'd made an appointment for us for and we'd need to rush off to make it in time. I was a bit intrigued and excited. Was it a movie or a show? A play? He knows I'm into theater. So we hurried off and he took me to a high luxury mall with an attached wing for offices. We went up. Wait, this is an office lobby. What the? It was a freaking weight loss center. So he explains that he's part of this company. He works for them on a part-time basis as a distributor, and he wanted to introduce me to their products, which would revolutionize my lifestyle and make me the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. FYI, I'm 5'5" and 135 pounds. I was totally stunned at this point, so I was just nodding like an idiot the whole time we were walking inside. He then left me with his smarmy teammates, who proceeded to give me an orientation about their company and a run-through of their health supplements. When he got to the part where the weight loss products are, the smarmiest one said, "Ooh, now this is what you've been waiting for. I saved the best for last." I just sat through it because I knew that if I started to say something, I was definitely going to burst and make a spectacle of myself. There was a seminar ongoing and we were at a little table to the side. After I flat out said that I'm not interested in any of the products and frankly don't believe that I need health supplements, I eat well and exercise regularly, they started in the second phase, introducing me to the business aspect of it. Basically, it was a networking model of business where you not only sell the products, you also recruit people to sell them and they would be under your team. And you get a commission for every sale they make. They rhapsodize about the wonders of the product, how easy it is to sell, and how much money I could be making because they could tell I have the right kind of personality and network for it. Registration was only $1,000, and it was consumable and products, which I could either use or sell to get my registration money back immediately. I wish I could say I flipped the freaking table and screamed at them to F themselves with their health supplements and hope they choke on their products, but no. Right after the talk, I just said I should head home since it was getting a bit late. The guy actually messaged me to say that he had a good time and he hopes to see me again, and that I would reconsider the products and the business opportunity. I called some friends up and went out for drinks because F your health supplements, that's why. So yes, I went on a date with a guy who brought me to a weight loss seminar, tried to sell me $1,000 worth of weight loss products, and then tried to recruit me to join their networking business. Well, I guess there's a first time for everything. Lol. Story 2. Had one, not really a date though, a few years back in high school. Socially awkward, lanky, weird English guy called Derek. We were friends in the same group, and in the same math class. He had the hots for me for a while. He kept hinting at dating and seeing a movie. All my guy friends asked me to give him a chance. He's not that bad, blah blah. I decided not to date him but to try and be more accepting of him even though he kinda gave me the creeps. And hopefully if we were just friends he would get the message and leave me alone in the creepy sense. I invited him around to my place for video games and a few rounds of pool. However, I made sure my dad was home as Derek didn't make me feel all that comfortable for some reason. Anyway, we take turns at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and head down to the garage for a few rounds of pool. I totally owned him at pool, and he realizes he needs to get home. I see him at the door and say goodbyes and we have a brief hug. As I pulled away from the hug, he grabbed me by the wrists quite hard. Derek, please insert my name here. Please kiss me. Me. Dude, what are you doing? Let me go. Derek, holding my wrists tighter and now hurting me. Please, I've never been kissed. Please. Me. What the heck, Derek? Let me go. By this point, he's trying to bring me closer to him and puckering up for a kiss, still keeping a really strong and painful grip on my wrists. I'm squirming, trying to get away from him. He was really strong, though. Let me the hell go or I'm calling down my dad. Derek. You wouldn't dare. Please, just kiss me. Me. Dad, come here. I swear I've never seen a boy move faster out of a door than Derek did then. My dad chased him down the road, calling him every name under the sun. I can assure you at the time my intentions were good, but I was young and stupid. Glad my dad was there, else it could have gone a lot worse. Story 3. I've been in this situation, but not as a date. Here's my story. So I'm working at Borders. This was around the time that I had just gone to voluntary administration in Australia. And I'm chatting to a customer for a bit about how I'm trying to find work as a freelance graphic designer while finishing up uni. She mentions to me that she might have some work for me. I give her my card and think I've totally found a new client. She invites me to a local coffee shop to chat, and I'm really excited about some prospective work. During our coffee chat, she asks me what I do. Okay, she must have forgotten, I thought. I told her I do graphic design, and she goes, "Oh, cool. I used to do graphic design too, but I don't need to do that anymore." This is where I think, hang on, why is she even talking to me? So she pretty much was trying to recruit me to pretty much become her lackey and sign up for a pyramid scheme, where I can sell vitamins and whatnot, get people I know to work for me and earn even more money and get cool stuff like holidays and loads of money and gift cards and clothes and everything. But she would just not stop selling it to me. I regret giving her my card. I got a text from her the other day saying that we should catch up. Yeah, no. So pretty much this friend of yours seems to be milking every single acquaintance he knows. Acquaintances are good because they're not close friends, but they're still connections. This lady I met seemed to wave to a lot of people, so I'm assuming she had tried to poach them from their monotonous retail jobs as well. Honestly, the best thing to do is just ignore his texts and emails and whatnot. Works like a charm. What I'm about to say has probably been said before, but I feel like it needs to be said again. This is how MLMs work. If you want to be successful in them, you have to have absolutely no shame and try to sell to literally everyone you know and everyone you meet. Friends and family, casual acquaintances, people that take your order at a restaurant, random people you meet in the street that you happen to be waiting in line next to. Literally everyone. Most MLMs are completely saturated already, and none of them have a product worth buying that you can't get a better version of somewhere else for cheaper. It boggles my mind that people actually think that someone invented a product that to sell, and rather than attempting to pitch it to large companies or simply go into business themselves selling it, the inventor of said product feels like the better option is to just recruit a sales force to sell it for them instead. If a product is any good, it will sell on its own merits and be distributed somewhere in the retail chain. This is, in economic terms, how the market has decided selling things should work. It's the most efficient way, and good products will naturally rise to the top. A bottom-up market where you recruit your own sales stuff, MLM style, is not an efficient way to move products. There's too much overhead. The Emperor, products you're selling, has no clothes. People get razzle-dazzled into buying into this crazy idea that there's some sort of conspiracy out there keeping the best products from hitting store shelves. That's just not true. I don't understand why so many people don't question what they're getting into before they're bamboozled into joining an MLM and thinking they'll be the next millionaire. The whole business model, the very core of the idea of multi-level marketing, just falls flat in its face as a concept in itself. Pyramid schemes are crazy. I saw a couple of friends going nuts over a few. Yeah, so they managed to get hooked on more than one. They wouldn't stop annoying everyone around them. But you know what you should get hooked on? My content. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Story 4. Fun story time. I've been seeing this girl for a few weeks and it wasn't exactly fireworks, but we got on all right. And it was the first time I'd actually tried dating someone after breaking up with my ex-fiancé, so I wasn't looking for a home run. She told me she was pagan at the outset and I assured her I didn't mind, as long as she didn't try to force it down my throat. For her part, she was true to her word, but it should have been a red flag from the word go. So anyway, she tells me she's leaving for town for the weekend to go to a pagan convention, or gathering or some such, a few towns over for the next weekend, and she was excited about it. For my part, I wanted to try to be supportive and non-judgmental about her beliefs, so I offered to accompany her, but she said she'd be fine and would call me when she got home. So I'm at home playing internet video games in my boxers Sunday afternoon when I get a call from her, a day early, and she's panicked and sobbing on the other end. It's only after much bleeding and confusion that she's able to get out that she needs to see me ASAP. So I go full hero boyfriend mode, immediately drop what I'm doing, I even put on pants, and race over to her place thinking something awful has happened. I burst through her door rapid-firing questions like, "What's wrong? What happened? Who did this to you? And how can I help?" And she eventually tells me that she ran into an ex-boyfriend, also pagan, while at the convention and that they'd been intimate. I felt my gut drop. One of my closest friends had been a couple years prior and was a nightmare I had no desire to witness again. Me. "So you were her?" "Well, no." Me. "But you got with him?" Her. "Yes." Me. Her name. "I know it can be scary to admit, but I'm not going to think less of you if you were. You can tell me." Her. "Well, I wanted to get with him." Cue palpable confusion pause. I had to not only try to parse this new bit of information, but also shut down the violation reactions going on. Me. You wanted to have relations with him? Her. See, it's like this. I like you a lot, and I don't want to hurt you, but you have to understand he possessed me. Me. He what? Her. He has a strong dark magic aura that I succumb to whenever he's around. It makes me not myself. I'm pretty hopelessly lost at this point. I've tried to respect her beliefs up to this point, but this is a bit of a tough pill for me to swallow. I tried to gain solid footing one last time. Me. Possession sounds like it was against your will. If that's the case, you were and we should go to the police department. Her. No, it wasn't. It's just that the dark magic clouds my mind with desires. Me. So basically, you're openly admitting to me that you slept with another guy and you're trying to rationalize it with something you know I don't believe in. At this point, she blew up on me. She was furious that I wasn't more sympathetic to her dark magic plight and couldn't believe I could be so callous and selfish. After about 10 minutes of cyclical yelling, I just turned to leave and told her to have a nice life. I'm not normally this witty, so you'll pardon me for including my snarky exit one-liner. As I opened the door, she screamed at me. Her. What? You don't even like me anymore? Just all of a sudden? Calmly, I turned around, gave her a sarcastic grin, and made jazz hands and said, "It's like magic," and then left. Okay, obligatory, let's nip the misconception in the bud thing. Addressing the you kind of jumped the gun on thing, yeah, I did. I want you to take crisis-level panic-inducing racking sobs and add in, I'd been with someone but clearly don't look happy about it, and see what your first assumption is. Again, it's something I have experience with, and it's not an easy thing to admit happened. Think long and hard about whether or not you'd rather be the guy that's overly worried it's a violation when it's just a stupid cheating space case. Conclusion I settled on anyway. Or if you want to risk being the person yelling at someone who had just been for cheating on you. I'll gladly make a joke out of myself every now and again to avoid being the latter. Story 5. Back in high school, there was a very beautiful girl named Melissa in a few of my classes. This was the mid to late 90s, and pregnant teenagers were as common as they are now, so I think it added to her mystique that she had a child. It never bothered me, though. I just thought she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen, so any chance I got to be around her, I took it. She needed a tutor? Check. Someone to talk to? Check. I never had the guts to ask her out, though. I wasn't much of a looker myself in high school, so it took me a pretty darn long time to do it. Finally, I did, and she said yes. I can't remember how it went down, but I think we decided that I'd pick the restaurant, she'd pick something else to do. So she shows up with her sister. That should have been my cue to nope it back inside my house, but I didn't, because I was an idiot. We went to eat, and then she said she had a surprise for me that she thought I'd really enjoy. I was excited. Did she really plan something? We pull up to a small convention center and start to head in. I'm already starting to what the it when we made our way towards one of the rooms, and there it is. Clear as day on a sign out front of the door. Amway. I cannot describe my internal anguish and feelings of absolute fail during the lecture and the meetup afterwards. They didn't even sit with me. We'd arrived late and they moved to open seats on one side while I sat on the other. I barely remember how I answered the inundation of Amway people's questions, but somehow made it through the evening. I remember never even seeing Melissa or her sister during this time, and as we finally met up to go home, I was utterly destroyed. We got home, she looked me dead in the eyes and told me that she had a really nice time tonight. I echoed the sentiment, told her sister it was nice to meet her, and went inside. Never even looked at Melissa again. Story 6. So my friend scored a date with a girl he'd had a crush on for years. A super hot crush with a strict and religious family. He tells me he needs to come on a double date because she will only go out with him if her cousin can come along. Well, off we go, and her cousin is surprisingly hot too. This favor seems to be working out in my favor. The plan is to start with an Irish picnic on the private beach. We sat on benches and drank a beer. My date had one beer and starts to act odd. She tells me I'm so good looking, she's whispering and giggling with her cousin. Then another group shows up and we all start chatting. Somehow she offers to give one of the guys there a ride home as we're leaving to go do whatever was next. She pulls him into the back seat and her cousin sits next to her for some reason. The sun has gone down and this guy only lives 5 minutes away. We're driving for like a minute when my buddy leans over and whispers, "Dude, she's giving it to that guy." I look back as a streetlight lights them up. Oh, yeah, she is. To be clear, we're all in the same car. Now we drop off sloppy guy who was like, "Thanks, guys." This is where the night gets worse. My buddy says, "I need you to just come with us to eat. I'm sorry, but I'll pay." He's super intense about it, but also I'm starting to laugh about this blatant disgustingness, and his date just looks so embarrassed. So I grudgingly say fine. We're driving like 5 minutes again, and this girl is still trying to talk to me from the back seat. Then she leans forward and starts to kiss my neck. I pull away and tell her to stop. This happens maybe 10 more times, and her cousin is restraining her and is mortified. I'm leaning forward in my seat to get away from crazy. Okay, she's too crazy for a restaurant, so my buddy decides to do a nearby local cheesesteak place that is pretty popular. We get inside and my friend starts laughing at me. He tells me to check my neck in the mirror. Yes, I somehow have a crazy hickey. I don't even have time to lose my stuff on this girl when she hops over the counter and starts yelling an order into the microphone at the register. "We'll have fries!" We dragged her back out to the car and sat her in the back seat. I stood guard from outside the car, so she couldn't do any passerby or anything, while my friend had a dinner date. The whole time the crazy girl was begging me to please get with her and trying to climb out. I thought less of her cousin for leaving her, but she said she needed to wait for her to sober up or whatever before they could go home. That took about 2 more hours of annoying. I actually saw her the next day and she couldn't look anyone in the eyes or talk to us. There was no second date for anyone. Story 7. Went out with a girl for a first date. She took me to a kumdo lesson, which is a Korean sword fighting sport. I thought that was cool, but it was an advanced class and made somewhat of a fool of myself, but all in good fun. Anyway, it turned out that she was bringing me there because she wanted me to be part of a documentary about foreigners in Korea. So my looking like a fool was broadcast nationwide. We then visited the Grandmaster's house for Macaulay, and the film crew started interviewing me. They were basically focusing on my relationship with a girl I was going out with. They didn't seem to understand it was a first date. So here I am trying to answer awkward questions without embarrassing both of us on national television. There's bad dates, then there's nationally televised bad dates. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you made it this far, I'm sure you'll also enjoy. What was your, I'm out of here, first date moments? Story 3 was unbelievable. See you in that video.